This scene is from the Lightwave 9 content. It's the pillar scene in the lighting projects. This scene is composed of a lot actually, a lot of stuff, and I've added two towers over here as foreground elements. I've also changed the camera move to make it more gradual, increase the duration to 200 frames. The first thing that I usually do is have to organize the scene. Now, this scene wasn't done by me, so I have to make it comprehensible in a sense, in a compositing sense, or at least in a layering sense. So what I usually want to do is figure out my background element, my mid, and my foreground, what other elements there are, and determine how that's going to be composited. Right now I have three major areas. I have the foreground tower, my midground tower, and my background wall. I'm going to start grouping these things. Now I have a script that does an automatic grouping, which creates a null and parents that selected object into that null. So this is how my script works. Manually speaking, it creates a null, and what happens is that, for example, I selected that, it'll parent it automatically to this. So basically that's how my grouping script, which you'll see later, in fact right after this, you'll see how it works. So what I usually do also is color them so I can distinguish in the viewport their layering. So on with the other groups. In the midground I have all these objects, and what I'm going to do is select everybody. Now unfortunately you end up selecting parts underneath that, but what I really want is simply the top part. I don't want all of them, so I'm going to select that, deselect the lighter because I know I don't need that, and the greeble as well, the group that I just selected. So I'm going to assign a color, and I'm going to reselect everything. That means I've only selected the topmost parts. Now this is important because I'm going to be grouping these things. So I'll run my script. It's called group item script, and I'll say this is the tower mid, and okay. So now I have all these elements into one null, which I'll change the color to dark green. Now for my foreground element, I've already grouped them as such, and I'll put them as possibly as in one group. Okay, so I'm going to group them again to group tower near. Cool. And then select that and give it a dark red color. And so if I go back to let me do that again, colors red there. So I could do a convenience feature, but I often like just to do it manually. So group, use selection, create group, and I get these three layers based off my selection, and then I select these groups and add create a render pass from the group selection, and I'll put everything to BDY2. Okay, and then I have all of these layers.